little after 9 o'clock Saturday night, 3 men wait for help in the middle of Eagle River.
They came down the river in a Walmart raft without PFDs, lost the raft, and were lucky enough to be stuck on the rocks instead of sucked into a hole somewhere in the rapids.
Witnesses say the men tell them their raft, not designed for white water, hit a rock, tearing a hole in the pontoon. As the water level rises, the Anchorage Fire Department Swift Water Rescue Team sets up.
As you can see, these guys right now are in no danger, but it could have been just as tragic if they did not were able to get on the rocks. They could have been pulled under, the water's cold, hypothermia sets in. We could have had some people in trouble here.
As rescuers get ready, curious onlookers snap pictures of the drama unfolding at the Eagle River campgrounds. One of the flashes startles the men. One almost goes in.
Well, as you can see, they don't have any PFDs, and that's a big problem.
One man makes contact with the rafters on his cell phone.
And I called them up and I started talking to them, and they said they were fine, they were just cold.
1 hour passes. The water is rising as rescuers fight thick brush. Then 2 hours pass, the light is fading, the water still rising. More onlookers show up to watch. At about 11:30, 2.5 hours after being marooned, the men are saved. One by one, they get into the rescue raft and don life jackets. The men are wet, cold, and obviously embarrassed. They decline to be interviewed for this story. A happy ending for the 3. But many who witnessed the drama say it could have ended much differently.
I was sitting reading the book.
At 2 in the afternoon,
so I was studying.
Quiet at Barnes & Noble's was gone.
All of a sudden I heard a loud crash.
The next thing people knew, glass was everywhere. Police and fire crews on scene.
Everything seemed like it went into slow motion.
And in the store, in the Alaska section, was this.
Why is there a car in the Barnes & Noble store?
The car barely missed Mike Machio. He was at the fireplace.
The Subaru came through the window, came about 30 feet, took out a couple people, and hit a bookcase and stopped.
When it happened so fast.
Cosme Pena was 3 feet away studying biology. He ran to the car to check on the driver.
She looked at me and says, well, what happened? I was trying to step on my brakes, and I told her, I don't know what happened, but you just went through the bookstore, basically.
The Anchorage Fire Department says 3 people suffered minor injuries. Police say one likely with a broken leg. The other injuries unknown.
Frankly, it sounded sort of like you would expect from an earthquake.
This man was at the far end of the store. He says there was a lot of people who rushed to help. A couple minutes later, the tarp goes on the window and the damage is assessed inside. Shortly after 3 o'clock, the Subaru is taken out of the store for a ride of its own, while the story of what happened here is one that will be continued.
I've seen plenty of crazy stuff. This is definitely one for the books.
I thought it was going to be a lot colder.
The signs of an Alaska autumn dust the mountaintops. They litter the ground. Seasonal visitors make one last pit stop, and there's a bunny in Midtown.
Hello.
Check that out.
I'm in a bikini in Alaska.
In 35-degree temperatures, Playboy's 2002 Miss July, Lauren Anderson, has a close encounter with Alaska's 2005 October.
All right, I'm thawed out. Boots were an awesome idea.
Anderson was brought here by PETA to take the fight to Kentucky Fried Chicken and farmers who supply the fast food chain with more than 850 million birds a year.
KFC tortures the chickens and they treat them inhumanely, and we're not asking them to not buy the chickens, we're just asking them to treat them in a humane fashion. It's not that much to ask for.
PETA and Anderson want people to boycott the Colonel until KFC execs commit to better living conditions for their birds.
Yeah, get up there.
But in a state like Alaska, did the daring display work?
Okay, guys, look this way.
I think it's getting a lot of people's attention, just how she's dressed.
And the bikini gets people to look.
Attention from passers-by.
I get a lot of attention.
And the media. But did Anderson change any minds about KFC chicken today?
No. No way. None. They're gonna, because they just did sex. They don't see anything else.
These men were on their way to Arby's when they spotted the yellow bikini.
Yeah, I was, until I seen what was going on here, and I flipped a Yui real quick.
and had to come check it out.
They left with chicken, but Anderson seemed unfazed.
It's really cold out here and I'm in a bikini and that's gonna draw attention and that's what I want. Thanks for honking.
She looks like a pretty good protester to me.
But even as people disagreed with her philosophy, they admired her dedication.
Look at me, how smart I am. I'm in a bikini in Alaska.
They came with a simple plan, from Anchorage to Taipei to Bangkok and then Phuket in Thailand. 7 Anchorage firefighters and 1 Alaska National Guard officer travel around the world with a simple plan from the heart to help Thai victims of the devastating tsunamis. But the plan hits a snag. The chaos and the aftermath of the waves,
to look around. Okay.
the language barrier, and a reluctant Thai military make it difficult for the Anchorage team to find a job. They bounce in the back of a flatbed truck, stopping at cleanup sites and tent cities for homeless victims, only to be directed to another site.
No, over there.
Where?
Ban Nam Kem.
How far away is it?
The frustration grows.
That's all I can tell you. It's going to be dark in an hour. What do you want me to do about that? We're going to rock that way and we'll adapt and overcome.
They finally find work searching for bodies in the rubble of a beach resort north of Phuket. Battalion Chief Mark Hall continues to network with military and other relief workers, and they end up here, outside what's left of a laundry store. The owner and firefighters stumble through a language gap, and they figure out the guy wants his building cleaned out. They get to work, breaking the brick and mortar walls that collapsed and litter the floor. Their new assignment takes them to a beach on Phuket Island known as Bung Tao. They learned something else. This is home to a radical Muslim community.
So we're kind of a little bit on notice, being white boy Americans. And however, as you can see, walking down the street, this gentleman appears Muslim to me, I don't know, but he wears the cap and he asked us to help. No hesitation, we stopped. Yeah, we're ready to help you. And I'm sure he's going to be very appreciative of it. And we're not really looking at religion or anything aspect like that. It's just another human being that needs help.
The tsunamis didn't discriminate against a religion either. This fishing community nearly wiped out. The firefighter team takes requests for help one at a time, and in doing so, fulfilling the simple plan for which they came.
One of the reasons we came here is because all the big resorts are getting a lot of help, but these small communities have also been devastated. Just not a lot of people have shown up. And so this is our second job we've been on today. We're actually on our way to another job to help a guy rebuild his house, and somebody flagged us down and said they needed help with that. We're going to clear this out for him and then go on and just anything we can do.
The firefighters plan to work in Bang Tao until they leave January 8th, knowing when they get to the airport they'll see the pictures of those who remain missing. And maybe they'll see a Japanese visitor taking the remains of his daughter home. And despite all they've done, they'll wish they could have done more. In Phuket, Thailand, Jason Moore, Channel 2 News.
As Alaska falls into another crisp day,
Starting to get a little cold out.
a blossom of hope
You want to check out Midtown?
for people who've had too much to drink.
We'll watch the public hand somebody a $5 bill from a car, and then an hour later, we're picking that person up.
Community Service Patrol is adding an additional van and 2 more staff members to search for public inebriates. Now the temperatures are dropping below freezing. Richard Dupuy and Bill Funder work for CSP. They're finding more and more people who can't take care of themselves because of alcohol.
If they can walk a straight line, they know what time of day it is, and they have somewhere to go, then usually we'll let them go.
They meet Larry Edwards.
Hello.
He's been drinking, but not enough to worry the pair.
I had a couple beers earlier, yeah.
Today?
Yeah,
How you feeling?
I feel fine.
Hello. How are you, Nick?
On Carlick Street, the news isn't as good.
Help you up here, man.
He's the 535th person CSP has helped this month.
Why don't you go with us, Pete?
Down the street, they helped number 536.
I've pulled people out of snowbanks. They've had frostbite. I've had to do CPR half a dozen times on folks.
Both men will be taken to CSP headquarters, where a clean, warm room awaits. John Silva makes sure of it.
That's where they peeing at, man.
Silva cleans every inch of this room. He says he used to have a drinking problem and wants to help others who still do.
These people need to stop drinking, you know.
What about over here?
A lot of people die because of alcohol, and we try our best to help them make sure they don't freeze outside.
Do you know what day it is, Arnie?
Right.
It's a goal they all share, so they head back down the road, the only solution so far to a growing problem on the streets of Anchorage.
Alrighty, here we go. 100 pounds of powdered sugar, 2 3/4 gallons of water, 6 pounds of meringue, and 30 ounces of cream of tartar. Afternoon pastry shop.
He makes things happen around here.
We're gonna rock and roll. My name is Joe Hickle. It's the snow. I'm the man behind the Gingerbread Village. Icing on the doorknobs, icing on the walls. 800 pounds of icing. That's a big chunk of frost on the table by the time you're done. Okay, that'll work. I do it because I love to do it. The biggest thrill is putting the house down, making that scene, look at it and go, wow, look at that thing. Man, it's really coming alive. Here comes somebody to meet Mr. Scrooge. It's a passion I have. There's thousands of pieces. It's piece by piece. Fish wire, cooking fish. There's cooks and fish. There's a fishing hole. This guy's got the wheat coming back from the mill. Got a chimney sweep guy up here getting ready to clean the chimney. Everything is edible except the styrofoam, the train. Cool, ain't they? And the people. Yeah, he just comes alive. I really get into it. It's a lot of work. This started about in end of September, first week October.
Every year, Joe's amazing. He comes up with different. It gets bigger and bigger. Put it that way.
More snow. Now that's a bowl of icing.
It's time of the season. They all come around and watch that thing. I see people come back 3 and 4 times just to look at it.
Kind of looks like outside real winter. Holy smokes. The thing about it is, Joe, I don't even know what it's going to look like.
It's just incredible.
I never know what it's going to look like. Put a little bit of snow on top, nice and smooth. You know, if you enjoy doing it, it's not work.
Sometimes he says he's surprised his own self.
The dusting the powdered sugar adds a finishing touch to it. Then I can just come along and add a little extra dust here. Sound effects, God. It's just a lack of sleep. It took 70 hours to put it up. This one was the most challenging one. It was the most fun. A little extra right here. Finished. 2005. All done. Merry Christmas.
Whose backpacks are still over there? There you go.
Throughout the years, life hands you tests. This is one of them. 30 miles across frozen terrain, the sun glistening off more than a dozen helmets. Mount McKinley out in all its glory. This is a test of will.
4, 5. Okay, we're bringing over some water. Make sure you do not get too hot.
It's a 30-hour survival test in Alaska's winter wilderness, accessible only by snow machine. The most important piece of gear at this point, a shovel.
It's really hard. I didn't realize how hard it would be, but this is nothing compared to the first time we did it. The first time we did it, we were like, but now we're used to it, so.
Cassie is one of 11 packing a pile of snow. This will be her home tonight, and she's got to build it from scratch with 2 others. Dylan is building another one with his group.
I'm gonna try to make sure that it's a dome that goes perpendicular into the ground so that it's strong structure.
A pile of snow strong enough to hold once the inside is dug out. A pile of snow warm enough for these survivors.
At first I thought that we would have needed a couple boys.
But we're doing good on our own. We got this right here. This is ours.
Got it.
You guys are doing good. Bring it up to a dome.
This is a final test in science for these high schoolers. Survive this, and they pass. Although many may say they already have.
I'm more social, I guess. I mean, before this, I really didn't socialize, but now I can trust a lot more people and I can hang out with more people, stuff like that. So I'm more teamwork oriented now, I guess.
Crystal is a senior at Save High School.
When you get your measuring sticks, They need to be every 12 inches.
Sticks.
They're all students there, a school with smaller classrooms and more attention for these teens identified as at risk. They could have been in trouble with the law, or they could be suffering personal family tragedies and just got behind in their schooling.
So once you're digging from the inside, you see the sticks so the walls aren't too thin.
This is a second chance for these survivors. This is a test of the future, not judged by the past. For this test, we're actually a part of it. Crystal and Jesse are my roommates. Photographer is rooming with Fidel and Garrett in their dome, what's called a wiki-up.
Well, it could increase our chance of living, making this.
Yeah, I know. If I have kids or whatnot, I'm gonna be showing them how to make a wiki-up and how to do all that over there. It's just
pretty much teach them everything.
Yeah, I'm not gonna forget any of this.
Whether it's building a home,
180's right that way,
or using their orienteering skills.
Just 30 yards. Got it. Next one. 180. Let's go.
All learn in the classroom throughout the semester.
Now let's follow our trail back. We gotta go find the other one.
Practicing teamwork and knowing you're only as fast.
Let's go, 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 go!
As your slowest.
You got it, Fidel. Nice, Fidel!
I'm tired, but I feel great.
There we go. Life and death right there.
It sounds like we got a couple more
No. Okay.
The final test, just one match.
Okay, so make sure you use that riser then, once she gets going, okay?
Light a fire to fuel dinner and warmth.
Go all the way around.
Ah, it's fire.
And in this test, it's the difference between 100% and 50.
We made it!
Wow.
Good job.
Nice job. Give him a hand. Nice job. Good. Nice job.
I know for real.
Made it to a moment around the fire where stories of mistakes, happiness, survival, and death are told.
The morning was cold and gray. It was already 9 o'clock and there was no hint of the sun.
And a moment of warmth and knowledge that one test is passed and life may be just a bit easier.
He was a newcomer.
The historic Anchorage Hotel was established in 1916.
You hear the pipes squeaking.
The only hotel in Anchorage on the National Register of Historic Places.
You hear the floorboards creaking.
Steam heat.
Old-fashioned.
Elegance with age.
There are times where you wonder.
Stories.
Things that go bump in the night.
Terry Ressi, general manager.
Cornelius Jenkins.
I had 3 encounters. But Sidney Lawrence picture flew across the room.
I do work 2 nights overnight by myself, and those are the times where I'm worried about
haunted ghosts.
Something happening.
There was a kid sitting on the couch. I said, wow, did you see that? What was that? And he said, oh, maybe it's your ghost. I said, oh my gosh, you're right, maybe. I saw this figure of a black dress in the train coming, and it was in the mirror. So I turned around and looked behind me. What's behind me? And I was like, oh, she's not even wearing a dress. And she's not moving. And then it just disappeared up into the mirror.
No.
Housekeepers will hear TV's on.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little bit scary.
Go in the room and the TV's off. We've had guests who actually tell us, you know, can you please tell the kids to stop running down the halls? And there'd be no kids in the hotel.
I have not yet had a personal experience. I've heard several noises. You know, you can't help but worry when you're here at 3 o'clock in the morning by yourself. God forbid I have to go down in the basement to grab something. Come 8, 9 o'clock, I'm just posted. I'll be standing here waiting for my relief. I just pray that nothing bothers me or, you know, is mad at me.
Famous 215.
The Jilted Bride.
She disappeared. Nobody knows exactly how or what. Maybe she hung herself. The one story from the guest who said he awoke and saw a figure of a woman standing at the end of his bed.
It's possible that there are things that happen.
There's no question in my mind. I tried to make it something different, but there was no possible way.
There never is a dull moment. Just stay busy. 9 times out of 10, you won't even notice that thing that floated by you going down the hallway.
Trains are like sugar. It's a little dollop and it's like, ah!
It's just before 10 when a select group of students from Lakehood Elementary School make their way to the train depot.
Good morning, how you doing? Good to see you. Come right on in.
Today, these second grade students got the chance to learn more about the history of the Alaska Railroad.
In 1985, the state of Alaska bought the Alaska Railroad from the United States of America. Or the
Inside the depot, students learned about railroad safety and the importance of keeping your distance from the tracks, even if a train isn't coming.
Have you ever heard of people putting stuff on the tracks? Like
After picking up the basics, the students head out for an up-close look at the locomotive. After the learning's done, it's time for some fun.
Welcome aboard the Vista Dome.
From the engine room.
All the way. A little hard, it'll click.
To the dining car.
And all that cooking that we do it right up here.
Students are fascinated by everything.
See, here's where the bathrooms are.
But the grand finale of this field trip awaits them, one car away.
You know, they've had a chance to go ahead and look at all the equipment and all that, but now they actually get to go for the ride, and this is really the best part of the day. Hey guys, are you guys ready to go? Yeah.
The Alaska Railroad has been working on this program for more than a decade, and students say they love it.
Looking at the windows, I see these cool things. I really love to go on trains because they're my very favorite. I have a train set at home and it's so fun to play with. It looks cool, doesn't it? Yeah.
It's a program organizers say they hope will keep chugging along for decades to come. Yvonne Ramsey, Channel 2 News.
You've seen them all around town, from bumper stickers to wristbands, even t-shirts.
Alaska girls kick.
Even famous politicians have used the slogan.
Alaska girls kick. Is that the slogan?
Yes, the slogan has many people excited, but what exactly does kicking have to do with Alaska girls?
I don't know.
I think it's a sense of pride that some women have here, because Alaska women are different from a lot of the other states.
I think that they're a neat idea. Being Alaskan grown is something that not everybody is, obviously, and especially if you're a girl, and obviously the male population is bigger than the female population.
In order to really find out, we needed to go to the source, the brainchild behind the Alaska Girls Kick slogan.
I think it's probably one of the ladies that competes at the Talkeetna of Mountain Mama of contest, you know, swinging a hatchet, chopping wood while carrying the baby doll on her back.
I imagined somebody from Palmer, and she was owned a farm or something. I don't know.
It's fun. Well, she was close. Australian-born single mom Christine Tudor does live in Palmer, but her days are mostly spent in this room in her house, where she keeps her stock of shirts, pants, stickers, wristbands, and new on the shelves baby onesies, all with one underlying message: Alaska girls kick.
I think that they're pretty strong, independent. We're quite removed from the remainder of the U.S., and I just thought it brought camaraderie and bonding to everybody in the state.
Her original famous phrase has even been added to in the 5 years since the business started. You can now get Alaska Girls Kick Butt and Alaska Girls Organic and Wild shirts as well.
I wanted to give more choices to the individual females. Not all of them felt that they were kick or wanted to wear such a strong statement.
And Christine is a one-woman show. Her only employee is creative director Dane Tudor Olds, her 16-year-old son.
Hello, good morning.
Who, needless to say, has pretty relaxed business hours.
Actually, if I meet someone new or something and they're like, "Your mom runs Alaska Girls Kick business?" I was like, "Yeah." They go, "That's pretty cool."
Well, Alaska, because it does stand on its own, it's separate from the remainder of the country. It has a mystique. And when an individual goes out of state and they have one of my shirts on, it actually opens them up to conversation. People are drawn to them.
Drawn by a slogan that we can't even say on TV.
Alaska girls definitely do, as the saying goes.
Nestled in South Anchorage on Tyree and Tarsus Drive. A neighborhood where ice cream comes in 2 flavors with a side of lollipop.
You know what a velociraptor is?
Your best friend Miles is a dinosaur.
Yeah, it's a dinosaur.
And Halloween comes more than 6 weeks early.
Ready to go trick-or-treating?
Sean Robbins got the wheels turning for an early Halloween on Wednesday. By Sunday night, almost every house was at its worst.
And the way this thing has just ballooned and the whole community's gotten involved, not only probably 90+% participation of the neighbors, and probably find that even more when you go out.
It's all for this little 5-year-old boy, Ian, Sean's son. Halloween is his favorite time of year
for all the obvious reasons. And an early Halloween is important for one not so obvious reason.
He's right on the verge of, unfortunately, going to be taking a turn for the worse. And I said any day now. So that's why, we felt we wish had to do it this weekend because I don't know what we're going to have next weekend.
Ian has leukemia, and after a 2-year battle, his doctors say he isn't expected to make it past next week.
As you approach each milestone closer and closer to the end, it's incredibly sobering. So you truly live day to day in this situation.
So on this day, a newly built neighborhood of strangers comes together.
And it's been really uplifting for the whole neighborhood to come together.
I'm just glad I'm a part of it. My heart goes to the family though, but I'm glad for my daughter too, because this doesn't happen every day.
All right, let's go next door. Let's go to Jasmine's house.
A day that will have to last Ian's mother Joyce a lifetime. That's why she's at his side every moment, for every trick and every treat.
Oh, I love that kind of candy with the wrapper.
What a family knows will be their final Halloween together, their last chance to savor every sweet moment and live together for the day.
Happy Halloween. Yeah, happy Halloween.
Rebecca Polsha, Channel 2 News.
In Midtown, traffic is congested. 7:08. Time is 7:30. Daytime is 8:34. Daytime is 8:39.
Time. Every time is flying fast.
For daylight savings time, I honestly don't know what I'm gonna do.
Got the extra hour.
Extra hour.
Please spend your extra hour.
Probably try to get some hours in at work.
A lot of homework to do.
Push myself to the limits.
We break dance.
My life doesn't change with or without daylight savings.
We usually stay up a little longer because of the extra hour. This is not good. My name is Alena Riker. My husband's name is Peter.
And I'm in business doing watches for 50 years.
He's been with his profession a long time.
50 years.
So many people have dreams, but they putting it off. Finally, they come to being 70 and they never done it. And it's too late.
Time is going by so fast. There isn't enough time in the day to do all that you need to do or want to do.
I think people get too caught up in consumer type goods.
And then we do a little bit of shopping here and there.
You got an extra hour of partying, it's awesome.
So maybe I'll go out and work out for once.
It's hard to think of a pretty good answer.
Celebrate my birthday with my family.
Probably go bowling. Go see a movie maybe.
I think I'm gonna spend my extra hour taking better care of my girlfriend. You hear that?
What are you waiting for? Then you go to doctor and he find out you have just short term to go. It's too late.
Time is precious. You never know what's going to happen, and so that's why you should treasure each moment. So having that extra hour is very important.